Hopefully this is the last time I have to say this, but I am currently not home. This is not my normal setup, so I apologize for the audio quality and the background. But before beginning this review, it is currently July 29th, 2025 as I sit here and record this review. And the resolution of the plagiarism lawsuit against this movie has not been resolved. So what happened apparently is another movie said, hey, Together, you copied us, we're suing you. But from the research, the director made a statement and said he submitted this to the WGA in 2019 before the other movie was even made. So currently nothing has been resolved yet, and I am allowed to change my opinion on this movie if it goes a certain way. But I'm going to give you my honest review on this movie, so let's talk about the movie. Together stars Franco and Allison Brie and is about Tim and Millie find themselves at a crossroads as they move to the country, with tensions already flaring. An encounter with an unnatural force threatens to corrupt their lives. From writer and director Michael Shanks, in his feature debut, we are talking the brand new horror film Together. So, just like everybody, I have been enjoying the press junket that Franco and Allison Brie have been doing. They have really been marketing this movie very well, and it seems like Neon just wants to really push this movie out there because it seems like they have a really cool horror movie. The togetherness, them being a really good couple in real life because they are married in real life, and then just the world itself, how Neon has just been killing it lately with the advertisement of Long Legs last year. They're trying to get another horror hit on their hands. So I've been enjoying it, but the thing that actually is really cool, I have a very personal friend who saw this movie at Sundance this year before Neon even bought the movie, and he told me whoever buys this movie has a hit on their hands. So I am finally here to tell you I have seen the movie, and as a big horror fan, I really enjoyed this one. This is a fucked up horror film, and that's cool in my book. There are so many positives, but I will admit, it is not a perfect movie. I would not consider it a 100% Rotten Tomatoes score as it's been marketing it as, but this is a very, very cool original horror film, and I am really excited to talk about it. So let's get straight into it, the positives. First things first, first-time director Michael Shanks. My goodness, I mean, this movie is beautiful. The cinematography, the colors, it's so nice to look at. The sound design, the sound mixing, the editing, like when you're watching this movie, it's just crazy to think this is a feature debut. Now, he's made a couple shorts from his IMDb credits, but watching this in a movie theater, this guy knows what he is doing behind the camera. He knows how to disturb you. He knows what to show you and not show you. And it's really well done with the editing, the sound mix, and the sound design. It's just really well made. And I cannot believe how good the CGI is with such a small budget. Now, I know Neon bought this movie from Sundance, which I believe was like 17 million. And from what Google tells me, the budget was not very big. But the CGI, I would say 95% of it looks very good, and the production value, this house, like everything, like was really well made for such a small budget movie. And I just think this director, he has a future in the horror genre, and this is a great first outing in my opinion. I won't say it's like Jordan Peele level or Ari Aster, but it's definitely in that realm. Like, this guy has my attention. And speaking of that, Franco and Allison Brie, who, like I said, are married in real life, have amazing chemistry. And they have to. This movie is really relying on their togetherness. Them being a couple, them moving out into the country. And this movie does such a good job with its script and its writing, giving these characters a good relationship. You love them together. But there is just something there that's kind of disconnected a little bit. And this is before shit hits the fan. Like, there's tension between the two of them. Do they want to move in together? Do they want to continue their lives together? All of this is perfectly explained before anything even happens. And I was already into the movie. And this is before the horror actually starts. When that stuff starts, things start going weird. This movie gets weird in the best way possible, and I think they perfectly show you how a beautiful love relationship can end dramatically and horrific style, and I loved a lot of the ideas in this movie. And again, it helps with just the production value, the performances. I was into this movie. And from the opening scene, I was like, oh, this opening scene is a love letter to John Carpenter's The Thing. No one could tell me different. But from that moment onward, I was like, this movie's gonna be fucked up, isn't it? And it definitely gets there. And like I said, some of the CGI it's like a tiny bit questionable, but for such a small budget, the CGI and the practical makeup that is used in this movie is awesome. And I know a lot of people are gonna compare it to The Substance. I'm always gonna compare body horror to the John Carpenter's The Thing, because that's the masterclass right there. The Substance is new, whatever. This movie could honestly be thrown into that category. It's really well done. Just the dramatic beats of this movie between these two characters in this countryside. The movie always keeps you wanting them to stick together. But when things get so weird, and there is some horrific imagery in this movie, you're just like, get the fuck out of there. Like, there's a few moments you're like, get out of there. You just woke up with your hair there, and it's not supposed to be like that. And they kind of just like try to brush it off. So there's a few moments where like maybe the script just has to go forward because you gotta have a movie. But man, I was just really into this movie. It just helps between the performances, the direction, the editing. Like, I was really into this movie, and everything was working. Because the first like hour of this movie, it's pretty disturbing. There is a few good jump scares. I was like, ooh, that was really good. Nothing made me jump out of my seat, but I saw this alone. And there was a couple people in my theater, and I saw quite a few of them jump. And I was like, that was a good scare, and it really helps with the sound design. Now, getting more into my negatives, because I don't think this is a perfect movie, and my main issue, honestly, is the third act. So without getting into spoilers, I'll say this. From beginning to like an hour and 20 minutes, I love what I'm looking at. I love everything. Everything is so working. The horror moments are working. And this movie's actually funny. And there's quite a few moments that are genuinely funny. For some reason, though, for me personally, the last 20 minutes tried to be a little more funnier. And I feel like there's going to be a few moments people find more funny than scary. And the last, like, moment in this movie is disturbing. But people laughed in my theater. So I just feel like the third act kind of went more into just funny and so bizarre, but it is supposed to be horrific. And just the tone kind of mixed a little bit with me, because like the opening of this movie is horrific. Like, it's disturbing. You're like, oh my God, what am I about to get into? And in the last 20 minutes, you might be laughing, like genuinely laughing what you're seeing on screen. And to me, I feel like the movie didn't balance it well enough. Now again, this just might be the person watching. You might watch this movie and you might find the last 20 minutes horrifying. You're like, that was disturbing. I can't sleep for days. But in my theater, there was like 4 or 5 people laughing. And the last shot of this movie, I would say about 75% of my theater was laughing. I wasn't laughing at the last shot of the movie, but there were a few moments in this movie I was laughing. I was like, I don't feel like I'm supposed to be laughing. But like, again, that first like hour is so disturbing, but they do have quite a few jokes in the movie, so it's just a little thing. And then finally, my last issue, and this is probably like my big issue. Like, the comedy is just kind of like, not really well balanced, but you know what? I'm still enjoying the ride. My big issue, I will admit, they explain a lot in this third act in like a 5-minute span, and it kind of spoon feeds you. And me personally, I feel like they could have gone one direction with certain categories of what's happening in the scene, and I feel like a certain character wasn't really needed, because I feel like we could have just seen these images on certain products of something, not involving a video and a character. That stuff to me felt like, hey, studio, we need to like tell our audience what's happening. Like, here it is in video and character form. There's images and stuff on walls in the cave, whatever, that to me worked a lot better, and a certain thing is seen, and you're like, okay, this would have been more of a ending that kind of like showed you and gave you the send-off that the movie was trying to do. But there's just a character in a video that's explaining it, and I just felt like it was really junky. Like, I was like, I don't feel like you needed that. I understand what you're doing. And there's also this little idea, a little theory I have, that it involves a spoiler, that I have that I feel like was like that part of the story, but I'm not sure. So that's something I would love to talk about one day, but no spoilers in this video. But anyways, my main issue is probably just the third act in general, but still one of the best horror movies I've seen this year. And if it stands as an original horror movie, if that sits, this is one of the best to come out in a while. I really enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed the direction, the cinematography, the score, the music of this movie is so good. And the performances by Alison Brie and Dave Franco, I want to see them in way more stuff. And I know Alison Brie was on that show that I've not seen. I've always liked Dave Franco, but them together, this movie, this is one I'm going to tell a lot of you, go and see and support. I'm going to give Together an A-. Also, one last thing before I let you guys go. Can we please bring back seeing the premiere of trailers in movie theaters? They showed a new trailer of Osgood Perkins' Keeper in front of this movie. I was like, that looks good. And they finally showed a trailer to Chris Stuckman's Shelby Oaks before this movie started. And I was like, damn. That looks pretty good from Chris Stuckman. But can we please keep doing that? Just show and premiere trailers in movie theaters. We did it last week with Avatar 3. Like, I like this style. Show it in theaters first and then premiere it online. Like, it was so cool seeing 2 new trailers that I've never seen in a movie theater. Like, that was really cool. Okay, anyways, that's my little rant on trailers. Anyway, guys, you guys enjoy this movie review. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.